Hey everybody, off the Mike Sports Network here. Browns thoughts. The latest update in the Mike is about to just go all crazy over the Browns taking a quarterback. Another edition of this, and go ahead, brace yourselves, everybody. But my God, the propaganda and all the bullshit that's out there about, pushing this narrative that the Browns are going to take a quarterback, most notably Shedeur Sanders, because there was Adam Schefter's now said that through his reporting, he thinks the Browns are going to take a quarterback. There's now rumors going around that Nick Chubb is going to test the free agency market. A lot of people are mad about that. All due respect to Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb's an aging running back who has had his season ended by serious injuries. It was a foot injury this year. It was a really nasty knee injury that ended his season 2 games in. Um, this propaganda and this engagement farming bullshit, because there's a lot of people who are pushing this narrative, but Nick Carnes, who listen, I appreciate that he loves Cleveland sports, but sometimes this stuff just drives me crazy. So he puts out this tweet, which Shedeur Sanders photoshopped in a Browns hoodie and a Browns hat. Basically says Nick Chubb tested the free agency market. Myles Garrett is requested a trade. The Browns 100% lack a face of the franchise. Never been more confident. It's going to be a QB at number 2 overall. So, first of all, let's stop this propaganda. The arguments are so dumb. They've gotten so I understand some of this is just like an element of getting your paychecks on social media, but even then, there are people who legitimately buy into this, because it's got 189 likes, it's got 13,000 views. But I basically said in response to this, I was like, okay, so you're going to take an inferior QB prospect in the worst QB draft class in 3 years because your roster's being gutted. You want to trade Myles Garrett. Nick Chubb's not going to be back. So you're going to invite a new quarterback, a rookie quarterback, into a bad situation because you need a face of the franchise. Even though if we took off the Sanders name for Shedeur, if he was Shedeur Johnson, or, I'll make up your own other last name. If this guy wasn't a Sanders, we wouldn't be talking about this guy as a top 10 pick. Let's call it what it is. He's got a nice completion percentage, threw a bunch of touchdowns, didn't win a Heisman Trophy, didn't go to a college football playoff, was sacked a ton because he was surrounded by a bad offensive line, a horrible running game, and was coached by his father. Yet, because the Browns need a quarterback, we need to take him. What? Where's this propaganda coming from? And then, hey, Andrew Berry talking about that Shedeur's a fantastic individual and that the Browns may draft. It's like, listen, I've said this before on this channel. Even if the Cleveland Browns decide to take a quarterback, whether it's Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, and it seems like there's just been this weird push and this weird amount of, propaganda and all this other bullshit that's been put out there on social media to drive home this narrative that we need to take Shedeur Sanders to get us to the next level. Leave out the fact everybody's ready to trade Myles Garrett because Myles Garrett doesn't want to be there. Nick Chubb's not. Nick Chubb may not be back. David Njoku's, I think, in the last year of his contract. You're reshuffling the offensive staff. You've still got a quarterback who's under contract on your team for 2 more years, won't play this year. And your best season, your 2 best seasons that the Browns have had since they came back in 1999 are with Baker Mayfield, who's now with another team, and Joe Flacco, who's off of his couch. And you think a rookie quarterback is going to change your fortunes. Leave out the fact that Josh Allen just won the MVP. He ain't going anywhere. Lamar Jackson's in your division. He ain't going anywhere. Joe Burrow had a phenomenal season and was failed by his defense. They're getting ready to pay their whole team. I don't know how that's going to work, but he's still in your division. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have not had a losing season since, I think, the Bush administration. They haven't had a losing season since the damn Bush administration. That's how long. Maybe we could go. Maybe I'm dating myself. Maybe it's the Obama administration. That's how long it's been. Mike Tomlin's been there, since 2008, 2009? And I think even before that with Bill Cowher, when Bill Cowher decided to step away, I think they still were a winning team. Or at least, we're a 500 team. But they with one of the worst quarterback situations in the NFL with Justin Fields and a washed up Russell Wilson, won 10 games last year. And you think that, hey, we need a face of the franchise because Myles Garrett doesn't want to play for us, because Nick Chubb, one of the great Browns of all time, doesn't want to play for us. Joel Bitonio may retire, one of the great offensive linemen not named Joe Thomas. And yet Shedeur Sanders is your savior? I get on this channel daily and just wonder what the fuck this fan base is thinking when you are not going to be one iota closer to getting to where you were in 2023 or 2020. 2023 was an outlier. I don't get it, man. I do not get all this wishful thinking and all of this, propped up bullshit that has to happen because, hey, Shedeur wants to play for us. Do you guys realize Shadeur's trying to get drafted? He's trying, and he's also maybe trying to position himself to, have the Jets or the Giants come up and take him because they need a quarterback too. Give me a break with this crap. You invest in a quarterback, you're stuck with him for 4 or 5 years. This is not about sticking a dart on the dartboard. And I know some people will argue at me about the whole veteran quarterback thing and, the Matthew Stafford thing, which I don't think is realistic. But even somebody like an Aaron Rodgers for a year, at least you have something that you know what you're going to get to some degree. You're going to get a bunch of the drama. You're going to get a bunch of bullshit. But he actually played pretty well last year for the Jets. Kirk Cousins, kind of up and down. Kirk Cousins has played in that system. Why do we need to take a rookie? Why do we need to take a Sanders who isn't even throwing at the combine when he's not a top 5 pick? Like, this is not a good quarterback class. And I think because they've failed and whiffed on so many quarterbacks, they're like, let's go get the flashy name. You remember the last time the Browns wanted to get a flashy name? His name was Johnny Manziel. How did that work out? Come on. Nick, all these other people, Buffalo, like all these other Cleveland clickbait accounts. Stop baiting people. And some of you people who are buying into this crap, shame on you. This team is not a quarterback away. A rookie is not going to change anything. It is not Jaden Daniels. It is not CJ Stroud. It is not Caleb Williams. It is not Bo Nix, who was the 6th quarterback taken in 2024. None of those guys. But Bo Nix was a Heisman finalist at least and almost went to the playoff. And look, he matched up with the perfect quarterback coordinator, head coach in Sean Payton. Like, what are we talking about here, guys? Just because you're going to gut the team and you want to start over, you're going to take the worst, you're going to take the second best quarterback in the worst quarterback class in the last 3 years? Do you guys have no standards whatsoever? What are we doing? What are we doing? All right. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.